Welcome into Inside the Icebox here on the ESPN Houston YouTube channel. My name is Joe George. Find me on Twitter at JoeGeorgeRadio alongside Jeremy Branham on Twitter at Jeremy Branham, co-host of the Killer Bees, and I made him do this Astros podcast with me. And we are just another Astros podcast.
What's it called?
Inside the Icebox.
That's right.
It's not the juice box anymore. It's the Icebox.
Oh, we changed it?
Yeah, they still can't hit there at the Icebox.
Okay.
It's not
you didn't
great.
like my idea?
No. Your idea, I don't think it would get approved. Let's talk about Hunter Brown. Start the show. He's been really good in his last two starts. We talked about in our first episode Cy Young odds, guys who had the best value for it. I think we both landed on Hunter Brown for Cy Young was the best value odds at the time. At this point in the season, he's already surpassed my expectations again, just with how good he's been. What do you make of his last two starts?
Yeah, I saw MLB Network had a stat today, actually, that he has the best ERA of an American League starter since last May 1st. Like it's
pretty good.
The minimum innings pitch to qualify for that stat or whatever, 120 innings. So it's not a fluke. Like it is very real.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I've expected for Hunter Brown. Like I'm not surprised with what he's doing. If you watched last year after he had the little cutter, like you shouldn't be surprised with what he's doing. I think it was pretty obvious that I thought he had tremendous value for AL Cy Young. I thought he had tremendous value in like best balls. If you're a nerd who draft a bunch of best balls, I don't know who does that, but if you're one of those guys, like he had tremendous value. He was being drafted like in the teens. So yeah, I'm not shocked. I think if you paid attention to the Astros last year, you would have seen this coming.
Is it clear to you? I mean, I think it's not that. I know Fromber's been a little bumpy so far this season, right? Like that's a nice way to put it. I think it's very clear Hunter Brown's the best pitcher on the staff, though, at this point in the season.
Did you phrase it that way intentionally?
No.
Best pitcher on the staff, as opposed to using the word ace?
No, I didn't. No, I did not do that intentionally. But he's an ace.
Yeah.
He's an ace. He's someone that you hand the ball to in game 1, 4, and 7 of a 7-game series, and you feel very confident in those 3 baseball games. It's nothing against Fromber, but Hunter Brown just to me has surpassed confidence-wise since May 1st last year, as you pointed out. Like that's the guy when it gets to the playoff time. Like that's who I want the ball getting in game 1.
Yeah, I do think Hunter Brown is the best pitcher currently on the Astros staff. It is triggering for me when people
use the ace word.
There's the way that they imply it, yes.
Okay.
I think there's 2 different ways to use the ace word. I think the way that I like to use ace is talking about an elite tier. And teams can have more than one ace. Like Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, whenever they were the Diamondbacks, they were both aces.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fromber's an ace. I think Hunter Brown is an ace. You look at the Braves rotation with like back in the day with Maddox, Schilling, Smoltz, and Glavine. Like all of those guys were aces. So like you don't have just one ace if you have multiple guys that are in that tier. Verlander and Garrett Cole in 2019. Like it was the ace. They were both on the ace tier. I get super annoyed with the back and forth. No, this guy's an ace. No, this guy's the ace. No, this guy's the top of a rotation. No, it's this guy. And what does it even mean? Like, how does it matter over 162? It matters 3 times a year. It matters when you set your opening day rotation. It matters whenever you set your rotation after the All-Star break. And it matters if you make the playoffs. Other than that, they're both starting every 5th or 6th game, every 5th or 6th day. So I hate the mythical title of this is the ace now. Fromber pitched bad, Hunter pitched good, Hunter's the ace. Next week, Hunter pitches bad, Fromber pitches good, Fromber's the ace. So I get triggered, and yes, I'm curmudgeon at times and get off my lawn at times, and there's certain buzzwords that I care way too much about. I get it. That's one of them, though. Oh, Hunter Brown shutout inning yesterday. Whatever he did, he's the ace. Fromber got ripped. But then Fromber pitches really well next week. Hunter Brown gets ripped. You flip it. It's a mythical title.
It is. I will say I think Hunter is the best pitcher on the staff.
He's pitching really well right now.
And it's funny because though we talk about the playoff rotation and get back to 500 and then we can go from there for the Astros, I guess. But it does feel like game 1 of the playoff series, it still might be Fromber because of the experience, the head case stuff. Like if you don't give him the ball in game 1, how's he going to react to that? I'm not sure he would react well to it. But like Hunter Brown's the guy that right now, he's been so good since last year, consistently. When he's on the mound, there's a different vibe going into the game. I don't fear the meltdown. I don't fear the defensive miscues that Fromber's had in the past. And he's great. And I know I've been crushed for my take last year that when he shook off Yiner and gave up a home run and cost the Astros a game early in the season, I said trade Fromber.
Yeah.
I know I got crushed for that. So it's not this. Rightfully so. Fair. I don't dispute that. But to me, Hunter Brown's the best pitcher on the staff. And it's just a credit to him. It's nothing against Fromber.
Right now, Hunter Brown is the best pitcher on the staff. And I'm confident saying he will be the best pitcher on the staff going forward. Could Fromber surpass him again in June? Yeah,
of course.
He could. Fromber's really good. Like Fromber, he's had 4 starts this year. 2 of them have been excellent. 2 of them have been pretty poor. Hunter Brown's been really good in all of his. And then it's not just a fluke. It's not just this year either. It does date back to 2024. I do think there is something with like the mental fortitude of Hunter Brown that I really like. Like I like his moxie.
Yep.
I like his arrogance. I like his confidence. It's not. I mean, he's borderline cocky, but I don't care. I don't care if my best starting pitcher is borderline cocky.
Don't you want your starting pitcher like to be like a little cocky? Like you want him to have like that juice? I mean,
yes.
Like, how many? There's not many Greg Maddixes out there who are just like the most like stoic, I guess, like guys on the mound. Like I want my pitcher to, after putting 2 guys on and walking them and then striking out 2 of the next 3, I want him to walk off the mound screaming into his glove because he's so amped for what he just did. Like I don't want him to just be like, yeah, cool. Like not that like many guys do that, but I want my pitcher to have a level of arrogance. I think you need to be like a great athlete. You have to be arrogant to some extent.
Yeah, I mean there's a fine line between arrogant and like confident, right?
Yeah.
Like I think you can be highly confident and not rub people the wrong way with arrogance, but
Sure.
it's a very fine line. Like
Yes.
it's a very fine line. You know, this used to kind of get to me whenever people would talk about Justin Verlander. Be like, well, Verlander's a diva. So?
Justin Verlander.
Like, yeah, he's one of the greatest
Yeah.
pitchers of this generation. He has earned diva status.
Yes.
Now, if it was, you know, Spencer Arrighetti acting like a diva in his rookie year, and not to say that he did, but a rookie that hasn't earned the pelts on the wall, then you can't act that way. But whenever you're the greatest pitcher of a generation, you absolutely can.
Yeah, you can just act out. And if you're the best pitcher on the staff, or even just one of the best 2 pitchers on the staff, like you just want it. Like, and it just, I think it helps where you get into trouble to have that confidence in yourself, get out of messes that you create, or if the guys behind you make mistakes. Like you just have to have it because you don't want people to implode.
No.
And like if they implode, it means they usually lack that cockiness, because if Hunter Brown's got bases loaded with 1 out, in his mind, he knows he can get out of it.
Yep.
You want that.
You do. You absolutely want it, no doubt. And I also kind of like his lack of symmetry with his tattoos. Have you seen the story behind this?
I haven't seen the story.
He's all tatted up, right? His left arm, he's got tattoos everywhere. He had a little bit of blank space, and he told his tattoo artist, like, hey, I need that space filled. You call it. I don't care. But he keeps his right arm free of tattoo.
Oh, it's from Mom, right?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It's because it's his business arm. It's his business arm. So he keeps his business arm free of tattoo because that's his moneymaker.
That makes sense. You're not a tattoo guy, right?
I don't have any tattoos that anybody knows about.
Oh, okay. I have 3. They're all hidden, but I just wasn't sure. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Well, I didn't answer you.
Yeah, I know you did. You never answer me. So we know Hunter Brown's been great, but obviously the season's it's a rocky start, you know. But they've been slow starting-ish every year, it feels like, since 2019. They're below 500. Eventually they figure it out. I know you guys on the Killer Bees had a discussion this week about panicking. How do you feel? Are people panicking?
I don't know. Our admin landed on the list this week, though, on Bad Take Boulevard.
Oh, for the frame tweet?
Thursdays on the Killer
Make sure you put
Bees.
the producer on it, too, because the producer usually writes the tweets.
Oh, really?
Or it helps with the
Okay,
headlines.
I'm uncovering lots of information here
Yes.
to better equip myself when the time comes. Yeah, it's too early to panic. Yes. The answer to that question is yes. It's far too early even thinking about panicking. The Astros are 8-9.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have a level of regret from, look, takes happen. We put takes out there. We just talked about the Fromber one. The panic last year felt real. 10 games back in the division.
Well, they were, 12-24?
Yes.
That's 36 games in. I think that's fair at that point.
Yes, but now that after last year, after being 10 games back in the division and then closing that gap and getting back into first place in the West faster than anyone had done, close the 10-game gap in the history of Major League Baseball, it's impossible for me to look at this start to the season and put up any real concerns. Now, there are things that we're going to talk about today and throughout the podcast, as we do it, about things that need to improve, but panic is not something that I can envision happening basically ever again until the Astros miss the playoffs, because they just made us all look terrible last year because they were 10 games back in the division and they still won it.
I mean, if they were 12-24 this year, I think it'd be fair to panic.
Because of the guys that left.
Yeah, even though they did it last year, like that's probably once in a generation. Like we'll probably see that once in our lifetime where a team is able to do what they did. And I think there were even stats with that. Like weren't they the first team since like the 08 Braves?
It had been a while.
Like something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it'd be absolutely fair to panic after 36 games if you're 12-24. But they've already won 8 of their first 17. Like, it's hard to imagine that they will have 12 wins in 36 games when they've won 8 of their first 17. And I guess I don't want to blow your what to fix. But I don't think anybody right now is having the type of season where it's like, look, they're 8-9, but they're getting unbelievable production from this guy or that guy. Because no one's been fantastic other than Hunter Brown. And is Hunter Brown's first 4 starts fake? Like, is that a fluke? I would argue that it's not. Because anybody offensively is not. I mean, Jake Myers, I guess, is having a good start. Like, do I think he's going to live up to that? Probably not. But he's like the bottom of the order hitter. It's not that important. So, like, they're 8-9 without getting this production that is over exceeding expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would say Josh Hader. I would put in that category.
But isn't that what he's supposed to do?
Yeah, but
as
like
one
having
of the highest paid relievers in all of baseball.
For sure. I mean, he's just it's what he had last week. He had 2 6-out appearances.
Yeah,
and he got through all of them unscathed, and so he's been up there. But yeah, you're right. Like they haven't got the best of the best yet from this season. The lineup just starts slow. I don't understand it. I know there are a lot of Astros fans that see what's happening in Chicago and Boston, and with Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker, and they're just like, why are they doing that there? And the Astros continue to start slow. But we know that the Astros lineup eventually gets on track. So it's just I don't get it. I think the Astros wish they understood it. Why these guys are going to different markets and all of a sudden having success. The minor league ballparks that both those guys have played in have helped their stats a little bit. They've gotten some run in Sacramento that the Astros have not yet. But yeah, the lineup will get there. The only guy for me right now that I just don't love what we've seen from him is I don't love what we've seen from Taylor Scott.
Okay.
It's the one part of this team that I look at, I'm like, okay, who is the 7th inning guy? When you move Ryan Presley, even though that was the right decision to make, is what does the back end of the bullpen look like? We know Abreu and Hader, confidence in them will always be there. They're both incredible pitchers. But who's the 7th inning guy? That's the one part of this early part of the season that is, I don't know if it's floated under the radar for you, but it's kind of, I've kept my eye on it.
It's been weird how Espada's used that 7th inning, though.
Yeah.
Like he used King once to start the year, and I was like, okay, well, King's the 7th inning guy. And then he uses Taylor Scott, gets lit up, blows a lead, and then uses him the very next day. Mm-hmm. Which I would appreciate that move if it was last year with Brian Abreu. Mm-hmm. Like, Brian Abreu is your no doubt, like, there's no question about it. He's your 7th inning guy, and you're never going to waver off of that. So you want to use him again quickly, try to, get the bad memory, away and out of his head. But whenever you have debate on who the 7th inning guy is and a guy gets lit up the way that he has, and it wasn't just one game, it's been a series of games where he's not been very good, it's, okay, maybe you make a change there. So I feel like Espada has been inconsistent of how he uses the 7th inning guys. I'm sure it's matchups. I'm sure it's like, okay, this pocket of hitters we like Taylor Scott more against. This pocket of hitters we like the lefty Brian King against. So I'm sure it's that. But I do think that Taylor Scott should be demoted out of any idea of the 7th inning. There is also the caveat that your 7th inning guy probably was Caleb Ort. If you could have penciled into the start of spring training,
I agree,
and nobody gets hurt, Caleb Ort was probably your 7th inning guy. So him getting hurt, maybe you're kind of like platooning it based on who you're facing in the lineup during that 7th inning. But I'm with you. I think that you could probably see some of the predictive numbers on Taylor Scott last year.
Yeah, he was like almost like the opposite of Hunter Brown, where he started off, Scott was incredible, and then we saw it teetering.
Yeah, like I'm not a huge FIP guy, but I do think FIP does a decent job of predicting the future, and Taylor Scott had like a pretty average FIP.
Yeah.
His FIP was not nearly as good as like his ERA and like some of the standard numbers we look at. So you could kind of see it coming. Now, it absolutely deserved a spot in the bullpen, but 7th inning guy, no. Like, he should be one of your lower leverage guys. But that also speaks to is that great of a concern? Like, if he's bad and he's supposed to be one of your lower leverage guys, like, oh well, like, bring up somebody else that could potentially fill that role.
Yeah, it's not like a massive concern, but it's something that maybe at the deadline we're talking a lot about. It's because it's just I know the Presley thing did not work out last year the way we all kind of thought it was going to when initially that Josh Hader acquisition was made about having the best 7, 8, 9 in maybe the history of baseball. But if you can do that in the playoffs and you're only asking a Ronald Blanco to get 6 innings or a Lance McCullers, who we'll talk about, only get 6 innings, and you can have that shutdown 7, 8, 9 because you fully believe in Abreu and Hader, it just does add a dynamic. So that's the one for me right now where I'm just curious what direction they go. Will they trade for someone, or are they going to bank on guys that are in the system and developing them into a semi-high leverage reliever role?
I think you have 2.5 months to find out.
For sure.
You have 2.5 months to see, can Caleb Ort develop into that 7th inning guy? Can Forrest Whitley develop into the 7th inning guy?
Yeah, it's crazy. I still want to say yes. I know we haven't even seen him do it.
His stuff is very good.
Yeah.
His stuff is really good. But he seems like he has a bad body.
Yes.
He gets hurt rolling out of bed. He's hurt a lot.
Where are you at now with, when we did the first podcast, their first episode, we were talking about, obviously, McCullers and Whitley came up, expectations for them. But now, we're getting close to McCullers being on the roster. It feels very real now.
Oh, it has to be.
For both of them. They're going to be on the Astros roster, maybe by the end of the month.
It has to be by the end of the month. Because you get 30 days when you're sent out on a rehab assignment. And when was the first game that he pitched in the minors?
Pretty early.
It was April 1st or something?
Yeah.
So they have to make a decision on him by the end of the month, after 30 days. So it's either he gets called up or you place him back on the IL, and which way is it trending right now?
They're going to be up.
Yeah, he's been pitching, he's been pitching the complete innings he's supposed to be pitching. He got up to 4 innings in his last outing. His pitch count's going up. His line scores are looking better. He's getting whiffs. The velo's there. He looks healthy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's absolutely, unless there's an injury between now and the end of his 30 days. I think he makes one more rehab start this weekend, which I don't even know where it's going to be. Sugar Land Corpus, whoever's at home probably. And then I think he makes his 2025 Astro debut at Kansas City in the series that comes that next weekend.
Now that it seems more real, how important is Lance McCullers? Or is he just kind of a body because you don't really you can't really rely on him because of the injuries? Is he on a 1 to 10? Is he an 8 in terms of?
No, I wouldn't go that high.
Okay.
You need him to be competitive.
Yeah.
So maybe a 6.5. You don't need him to be top of the rotation Lance McCullers. You don't need him to be former All-Star Lance McCullers. He doesn't need to be a guy who might get Cy Young votes. If he is that, then he's going to blow all of our expectations away and congratulations.
Yeah, if they have that guy going to a playoff rotation with this Hunter Brown and Fromber and then that Lance McCullers, it changes the dynamic of this team by a million miles.
But I feel you have to be fair with your expectation. Mm-hmm. He hasn't pitched in a very long time. He's on the wrong side of 30. His velo is still okay, but it has dipped a bit. He hasn't pitched in forever. So how is he going to fare against big league hitting? All of that. So if he's on the same tier of Ronel Blanco and Hayden Wesneski, I'll feel happy. If he solidifies a rotation spot, I think that's a huge win. Because going into this year before spring training, what was said about McCullers? I was right there at the front of the line making fun of the guy, right? Mocha McCullers and all this stuff, with the ghost of McCullers, bury me in the H. He already has been buried. His career's been buried. People didn't expect to see him ever pitch again in the big leagues. So that's what was being said about him. If he can just fill a rotation spot and you're comfortable with him in your rotation, I think that's a major win. Major win.
Oh, if he can do anything. And I think they still go 6-man rotation.
Well, it depends on Eric Getty's injury.
I forgot about Eric Getty.
Because when McCullers comes back, I think they go 5-man again. It depends on the schedule. But I think Gusto moves back to the bullpen. I think Gusto's got one more start.
Yeah, unfortunate for Eric Getty.
Yeah.
That's such a baseball injury.
It is.
Only in baseball does something
line drive.
While you're in the field before a game starts. And now you have to wait.
I don't know. I want to blame somebody, though. They say 6 weeks, but it's going to take, 4 to 6 weeks just for the bone to heal.
And then he's going to have to go through rehab.
He hasn't pitched in a game.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to get built up again, too.
Yeah.
So you have to get his conditioning. So, if he's up within 8 weeks of the point of injury, I will feel pretty good about that.
How do you feel about Wesneski so far? Last start was pretty good.
Yeah, I like his stuff. I think it's another testament to the Astros pitching development staff being pretty dang good.
Totally agree.
Because Wesneski was just kind of a guy in Chicago. You know more about that than me, but kind of going in and out of the rotation, long guy in the bullpen. But now, look, I mean, he's striking out 10 guys.
It's the same thing the Astros always do. Like, it's such a crazy thing in baseball, like how the Astros seem to have just mastered this more than everyone else. It's just, hey, what you're really good at, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Don't do the other stuff. Do what you're good at. It's just, it really is. They keep it simple, stupid. And then when you get to a certain point, you're Hunter Brown, you add a pitch and you become nasty.
Yeah.
Kikuchi coming in, Wisniewski coming in, it's if the Astros acquire a pitcher, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
If they trade away a pitcher, he's going to suck probably.
There's also the element, too, of like, if you had this sort of development, should you ever even pay a pitcher? Like big money.
It's a great question.
Like Garrett Cole money, like massive money like that. Because, I mean, I remember everybody wanted Kikuchi. Well, like, if you're 90% of the reason that Kikuchi's been good, why would you pay Kikuchi? Like, go trade for another fringe guy who has, like, stuff that you value, bring him in for cheap. Like, Wisniewski was a throw-in in that trade.
That's why they never pay any pitchers. I mean, they've only paid Verlander.
Yeah.
And that's only because
that was short term, too.
Exactly. It was short term. He's Justin Verlander. There's a different level of conversation. And his relationship with the owner. But, like, they were never, it wasn't just Garrett Cole wearing the non-Astros hat to why he left. Like, they were never really in on Garrett Cole.
No.
Now, they've never really been in on any of their guys that have left. And that just seems to be, I think strategically, like if I were running the Astros, I would say if I'm going to spend my money somewhere, I'm paying guys to be in the lineup because they have developed those guys, and then they gutted the farm system in trades. I would never develop pitchers.
No.
I would never pay pitchers.
No, you should
bring them in.
Bring in the guys who have stuff that you value and continue to get a lot out of spending pretty little in resources.
Yeah.
Like Kikuchi cost at the time felt like a lot. Like it feels better today because, Bloss, I think he might even be hurt. But Bloss looks like at best a back end of the rotation starter. Loperfido looks like at best a bench outfielder guy. He doesn't really strike me as a starting outfielder. Like he strikes out a ton. I think his defense is overrated. Diving grab. Oh my goodness, look at that.
The Loperfido thing goes back to what he was doing in Sugarland, having all those home runs when the Astros offense was putrid.
Yeah, especially the outfield.
And then he came up, had some success, and then he was making these splash plays in left field.
They had catch probabilities of like 90%.
Yeah, but like he was making them look very nice. That trade it's fine.
Will Wagner's the one that worries me.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Wagner can hit a bit.
Okay.
I think Wagner can hit a bit.
I'm just not sure he's like their everyday guy in the long term.
The thing is, he's kind of a tweener. Like, he's probably not good enough to play defensively at second base every day.
Yeah.
But that's probably where his bat plays. And his bat's probably not good enough to be an everyday first baseman or DH. So he's kind of the tweener type. Like, all three of the guys in that trade were tweeners. Like, Wagner's a tweener. Where's he going to play? His bat's not bad, but he's probably not an everyday starter at first or DH. Bloss is like, okay, at best, he's a back end of the rotation guy. And then I don't really have a whole lot of faith in Loperfido.
I don't either. Jake Myers, last year started off really well, fell apart pretty quickly. This year, he's been phenomenal to start the season. Gold Glove in center field. I saw that debate happening.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you tagging people on past Jake Myers
Oh,
plays.
it's just Joel, yeah.
I know it was.
Yeah, he doesn't think that Myers is scared of the wall because of what happened in 2019.
Yeah, 19. Yeah, that's the same series that.
It's where he tore his labrum. I mean,
it was the White Sox game, right?
Yeah,
yeah, in the playoffs.
I mean, he tore his labrum. Like, and I do think that there was some hesitation going to the wall, like right when he first came back. But I think that has been dispelled a lot.
But he has brought, I think, a lot of confidence in the outfield so far. I mean, Cam Smith, it's pretty clear teams are scared of his arm. It seems like. I mean, they don't seem to be running on him yet. We'll see if that trend continues.
I don't think anybody's trembling in their boots because Cam Smith's arm in right field. Like, do they respect it?
But
sure.
It's not Chaz.
No, Chaz is one of the worst arms in baseball.
Exactly. So Jake, you put something respectable in right field.
But it's not like, oh my goodness, did you see Cam Smith's arm in right field?
It's not like
it's not like they saw a ghost.
It's not like they're like Randy Johnson in right field.
No, like they respect it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like they respect. I kind of shake my head with this conversation a lot because I think we extremely overrate arms in the outfield. Not so much in right. Like you do need a good arm in right. That was my fear with Chaz McCormick playing right, is that these teams are going to go first and third on him all the time. So I don't think it's overrated in right field. I think we overrate the arm of center fielders and left fielders all the time. Like how many times over a season are you really seeing their arms tested? Like maybe once a week?
Yeah.
Like is it more important to have a strong arm in center field or a dude who has the best range in baseball? the best range in baseball.
Yes.
That's why you hide arms in left field and center field, because it doesn't matter as much out there. You need range, you need speed, go catch the fly ball. They're not like Dana Brown's is a master baseball scout, right? Like he has an eye for talent, all of this. If he went out and saw a dude who had a cannon for an arm, and he's like, okay, this is the position you're going to play based on your arm. At what point do center field and left field come into play? Close to the end. Like obviously, okay, he's got a big arm, he could pitch. Okay, he can't pitch. Maybe he has an arm that could play third or short, left side of the infield, or right field, so people can respect the arm. Catcher, you like to have a strong arm behind the dish. Center field, left field, second base, first base is where you put guys with weak arms.
Yeah, I think the outfield stuff's worked out well for the Astros so far, though. Cam Smith has looked good in right field.
Made an error on Wednesday.
Yeah, but they're not concerning to the point where it's like he can't play out there.
Yeah,
he's not unplayable or anything like that. Obviously, Jake's been very good in center field. And Jose Altuve, honestly, they've hidden him well. It's worked out, I think. He's made some mistakes, yes, but he would probably make those same mistakes at second base at this point in the season. So it's where would you rather have that mistake? Second base or left field? The Astros chose left field to have the mistake. So I do think early on, from a defensive perspective, it's worked out solid for the Astros. This game plan seems to be working out okay.
Their defensive metrics are pretty good.
Yeah.
They've improved from where they were last year. So I do think that it has worked. Their infield defense looks better, which is weird because you lost the Gold Glove and Bregman. But I think Pena's playing at a better level. I think you're getting better second base play. I think Walker's presence, as bad as he's been offensively, helps. Good defensive first baseman, helps out with bad throws a lot. So that's beneficial. And I think Paredes has been better than I thought. I thought he'd be fine at third, but he's been a little bit better than fine.
Yeah, I've been. I mean, obviously, he had 3 home runs in 3 games at Minute Maid Park. That worked too for Dana Brown so far. It's early return, but he likes the Crawford boxes, and that's what you were expecting from Paredes, and that's exactly what he's given you. Yeah, he's been good third base. He's not been a Gold Glover or anything like that, but
no.
As long as you're not a disaster, and I think what you said spot on there too with Christian Walker, just having that guy, an elite first baseman defensively. If Pena makes a bad throw, if Paredes makes a bad throw, he just recovers it. You haven't had that since Yuli left. And it covered up a lot I think that's part of the reason why, with Pena as a rookie, it helped him so much having that at first base. And having Jose Abreu there, if Pena made any kind of mistake or poor throw, it was going to be a disaster because who was at first? Christian Walker covers that stuff up. And that's been big for them too. What do you make of the offensive player, Cam Smith, so far, hitting right around the Mendoza line? Right now,
I think he's shown improvement. Let me start there because I don't want to be like a dude who's always banging on guys. I think he's shown improvement. He's striking out a little bit less. His plate discipline's always been fine. He's getting more hits. He's hitting for a little bit of power. Is he hitting enough to justify having him on the opening day roster? We asked on our show, when can we have this question? Because I don't want to bring it up every day. And I know the listeners don't want me to bring it up every day. So we were like, hey, when can we have this conversation? Not having it yet. Not having this conversation yet. But when do you want us to have it?
About sending him down?
No. Just was it a good move, bad move, Dana Brown starting him on the opening day roster?
I mean, yeah.
Revisionist history, what should have been done on opening day? And we landed on 100 plate appearances. And Cam Smith's right around 50 after the off day. So it's okay, he's still got twice more than what he currently has before we really start evaluating this. I think he's going to be a good player. I like the prospect of Cam Smith a lot. I think, like you said earlier, he's handling himself fine and right. He's got an arm that plays in right. I think his bat's going to be just fine at the professional level. That does not worry me. The conversation point that needs to be had at some point was Dana right starting him off on the opening day roster? And I don't think we have the intel yet.
Yeah.
Now, if you just stack up this first 50 plate appearances and you assume that's what also his next 50 plate appearances are, I think the answer would be no.
Yeah, it's interesting because if they sent him down at some point to work on the swing, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. I think there are 2 philosophies that you can go about this, and we'll talk about 2 third basemen here to kind of comp him with Cam Smith. You have Alex Bregman, who struggled mightily. And they just said, we're going to let this kid get through it, and he's going to battle through it. The other prospect Dana Brown could have asked for was Matt Shaw, the third baseman for the Cubs, who's already been sent down.
Yeah.
Batting average, basically the same. They're basically the same exact player this year. and one's in the minors now, and one is starting right field for the Astros, and that's just two organizational philosophies about what they want to do with their prospects. So, I mean, if they send him down right now to work on his swing, I'll be honest with you, I'd be fine with it. I'm not asking for it, but if they made that decision because they thought that was in the best interest of Cam Smith, I trust them to make that judgment. So I'm right at this point in the season, I'm fine either way, and I'm fine with him being on the opening day roster no matter what. I like the risk. I like the opportunity.
The problem, I mean, my side of the argument is that I do have the benefit of hindsight being 2020.
For sure.
If after 100 plate appearances you have to make the decision to send him down to work on his swing, then it was a bad decision to have him open the season on the big league. Now you lose a year.
You probably wait too long.
You lose a year of his service time.
Yeah, I think you have to make that decision before the service time is up. Like you have to recalibrate it to where, I mean, regardless, I mean, even if Cam Smith went down, he would come back up at some point this season. You would presume
if he hits,
he would hit in the minors and he would come back up at some point this season.
Yeah.
So if you were going to make that move, I do think they should make it soon. And I mean, that's why I would just expect Cam to be up here for the rest of the year. And as much as I like Zach DeZenzo and Chaz at times, I don't think they're that much better than Cam Smith for their in right field right now. I don't think it's like a
no, but you're not much worse.
Upgrade.
But you're not much worse. So, like, what's the trade-off there? Like, if you're getting equal production, because I agree with you, like, neither guy's, like, way better or would be producing way more. They just wouldn't. DeZenzo's not. Chaz has been, like, pretty similar to Cam Smith's numbers. And, again, he scares me in right because of his arm. So you're not getting great production in right if you were to send him down or because he wasn't starting. The trade-off, though, is that now you lose a year of his service time.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is the penalty. That to me is what is punitive about making, and I'm not calling it a bad decision yet, but if it comes down to be a bad decision and you're now sending him down, it was a bad decision because the penalty now is you're losing him on the back end when he's going to be more in his prime.
I agree with you, and that's also why I think he should already be under contract for past his arbitration. That to me is why those moves should be correlated, is that you now avoid this conversation. Yes, there would be some Astros fans that would be panicking, like, oh my God, I can't believe they already gave this guy $85 million. He doesn't earn it yet. But it's now service time becomes a problem where if you just paid him right now, you don't have to worry about service time. And if you're comfortable letting him go through a little bit of struggles in right field, then you're good with where you're at.
Yeah. Now, I'm with you on that, but it always depends on the player too.
For sure.
Like you can't just say, it's as easy as saying it should be done. Because what if the player's like, I'm not doing that?
No, we've seen guys this year that we've seen guys take money and we've seen guys turn down money who are all in very similar positions to Cam Smith. So the player has to want to do it, and the Astros have to want to do it. And we've talked about this before, I know, and we have no reporting one way or the other if a conversation has or has not happened.
Yeah. I would have kicked the tires on it. Like, if you're saying he's good enough where he has to start on the big league team right now, I would have also been trying to extend him. And
absolutely.
In fact, I mean, I'm kind of cruel. I'm more team than I am player. My job is, if I'm the GM, my job is to make the team win games, right? Mm-hmm. My job is to win as many games this year, win as many games as I'm the general manager of the Houston Astros. That is my number one goal. That's my number one desire. That is the one thing that I'm being judged on by my boss, Jim Crane. I'm not playing nice with the player.
So
if I'm a GM. Yeah, I absolutely would.
He's staying in the minors if he didn't sign the contract?
Absolutely.
I like that take.
Absolutely.
That's a good take
yes,
to wrap up on.
Hey, do you want to start with us? Okay, well, here's the contract that we need you to sign. It's fair. Christian Campbell signed a deal similar. Mm-hmm. Here are all the reasons why it's advantageous to you. Like, I'm not trying to screw the player over. But if I'm on the fence of whether or not he should be up or down, well, then here's the nudge that makes me comfortable doing it, is you've signed, we hope, a team-friendly contract. Hopefully it's not a John Singleton contract, but we feel this is a team-friendly contract. Like, these are the rules. Like, do they suck for the player? Yes, but they're the rules that we're governed by. So if those are the rules that we're governed by, I'm going to do everything that gives me an advantage to win now and in the future. So if I'm on the fence of whether or not to bring a guy up to start the year, how much do you want to be a big leaguer?
I also think, I'm sure at some point we will have this discussion during a slow week for the Astros or if things go very poorly. I also would like to get Cam Smith under contract so that when there's no baseball happening for an entire season, that when you come out of that with a salary cap, his salary cap number is going to be very low.
There's no way they're negotiating a salary cap.
They're going to try.
The players are going to sign up for a salary cap.
That's why there's going to be no baseball for a year.
What would it take for the players to say yes to a salary cap?
I have no idea. I think it's what some of the owners are going to try. I'm not looking forward to missing basically an entire season of baseball.
I would like a salary cap in baseball. I think it would be helpful to the Astros.
Yes.
Like if I'm a Mets fan, I don't want there to be a salary cap.
Yeah, if you're the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, you don't want it. But if you're everyone else, like.
Yeah, I would be pro salary cap strictly because of my allegiance.
Yeah.
So, but I don't see a scenario in which the players' union's like, yeah, we're cool with that.
They're going to change something dramatically. Maybe it's not a salary cap, but I still want to get Cam Smith under the smallest amount of money I can get him because I think he's going to be an excellent player for the Houston Astros.
Real quick I think the Bregman comp's a bad one though. Like, I'm not trying to pick on you, but
it's just like the struggles.
Yeah, like Bregman struggled to start. Like he was 1 for his first 32, but like over his next 20 games, he hit like over 300. So like by the time he got to 100 at bats, he had a slow struggle through his first 30, but his next 70 were like, this is the guy. Yeah. This is the dude. So like if we're using 100 at bats as the barometer, Alex Bregman is not the example to use for Cam Smith.
That makes sense. That's fair. That's fair. I chose two guys with the same amount of at bats. I chose the bad part of Alex Bregman's tenure. All right, that will do it for this episode of Inside the Icebox. Remember, we're here on every single Thursday morning. We drop the video on YouTube as well. You can hear it at 6 o'clock on ESPN 97.5 right after the Killer Bees. I'm Joe George. He's Jeremy Brandon. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Peace.